everybody. Welcome back to Prepping Life. My name's Johnny, and I'm going to take you folks along for a one-night overnight camping adventure with me. As you can see behind me, camp has already been set up. I'll tell on myself, camp's actually been set up since Thursday afternoon, and it's currently Sunday afternoon. Reason for that? You know what? Sometimes a person just wants to go out in nature and not fiddle around with, I don't know, maybe I just didn't feel like filming, but I'll at least bring you along for the one-nighter. There was a bunch more stuff set up. I had the wife out here with me, Mrs. Prepping Life. That was kind of cool to get her outdoors too. It's just hard to get her away from home for 4 nights. Well, there's situations that those of you that know me, like personally, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to get into it with the world. But anyway, last night, it's about just after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going to be out here for just under 24 hours still. I had to run her home with some stuff, and camping out of a sports car, it was really difficult to bring everything out here in one go. So I came out here on Thursday afternoon actually, got everything set up, hung out, had a campfire. Not gonna lie, had a couple adult beverages. Nothing crazy, but you know, just relax by the campfire, enjoy the sound of the cicadas and the crickets and the frogs and other campers, because this is an actual paid campground. I'll tell you more details about the campground, where it's at, things like that. It is a primitive campground. There are vault toilets, but there is no water, there is no electricity. You got to figure all that out on your own. But I'll tell you what, let me pause this, and I'll give you nice folks a tour of camp real quick, or what's left of camp, and I'll explain what got took down and why the things that got took down were there to begin with. Anyway, see you in the next clip. Okay, so here's my 2001 Chevy Monte Carlo Super Sport, which is the car that we were car camping out of. I mean, for a sports car, it is kind of big, and there is a good amount of storage in it for being a sports car. I actually lived in this car for a solid month. There's reasons that I can't get into right now why I wasn't able to film any of that. Let's get spun around here. This is the view between me and the next neighbors over. Big tree line, I like that. In this spot here, we had a 10 by 10 gazebo kind of canopy thing that we take with us always when we go car camping together as sort of a contingency in case of bad weather. We've set it up over top of fire pits, over top of picnic tables, whatever it was needed for. This is the fire ring we've been using. You all know what a fire ring looks like. Yes, I have store-bought wood with me. Story behind that is, in a lot of the parks here in Iowa, state parks, county parks, whatever, they really don't want you scavenging wood, so I try to be respectful of that. There's the chair that Mrs. Prepping Life sat in for a majority of the weekend. I mean, we did some hiking and stuff too. This is a 6-person tent that we picked up at Sam's Club. The brand is Members Mark. I haven't actually had it set up in about 3 years. So for being in storage that long, it seems like it's still in pretty good shape. Again, it is a 6-person tent. And then if we stroll around in here, there's kind of a mess going on in here just because, well, I took a bunch of stuff home when I took Mrs. Prepping Life home. I took the blankets home and brought my mummy bag. It is supposed to get pretty chilly tonight. I've got my Mr. Buddy heater here, Big Buddy. My own toilet, cooler, got some dogs and some brats, some eggs for in the morning, I'm probably going to do my cooking tonight on a charcoal grill instead of over the campfire. I have a limited amount of wood, and I just kind of want to save it for a campfire later. I'll go through this stuff with you guys more later. Might be an interesting look. Couple more things I forgot to show you guys. This Apache case I use as my primary fire kit. Got some bottled water because, as I said earlier, they don't provide any water here at all, and I wouldn't trust drinking it out of the river, even with a filter. Got some extra tent stakes. Got my Coleman propane stove. We don't really typically use it for cooking a lot, but I do find it extremely happy if I just want a quick cup of coffee in the morning without having to build a fire. Again, propane. Then I've got my charcoal grill. The two grills both came from Walmart. For what it is, it ain't bad, and it just sits up on a picnic table. I have been known to use it as a small temporary fire pit. And then here I have my coffee mug, obviously. Most people into bushcraft and camping and whatnot are familiar with this setup. Got the Stanley cup pot. And in mine, I store this. AOK gave me this a few years ago, and I absolutely love this thing. They felt sorry for me because they saw a video where I was straining coffee through a paper towel. And then obviously I've got the green cup. Normally these kits come with two, but mine only came with one. That's fine. I'm the only one that drinks coffee, so this is kind of my little coffee kit. Sorry about shaky, I've got you off the tripod here, but it all fits there. And then obviously most of us that are into that kit have the Ozark Trail cup because it nests nicely, and the lid from the Stanley also fits that, which is pretty handy. And then obviously small little portion of coffee. This is about 2 days worth for me. And then I've got some other little odds and ends, but I'll show you guys some more of that stuff here after a bit. I'm gonna sit and chill out and enjoy nature, and maybe here after a bit I'll take you guys for a hike with me. Gonna get a bit of a late lunch going here. Nothing too super special. A couple of brats, a couple of pieces of string cheese. I already ate some, well, one stick. And then I have, yes, I have dessert in a can. And some spicy brown mustard and some Heinz ketchup. Not sponsored by any of these companies. But anyway, I'm gonna chow that down. I'm just making them just down and dirty on the barbecue, on the charcoal grill. Anyway, I will see you nice folks after lunch. Alright, so it appears that the brats are about done. Get those pulled off here. I find it amazing how something as simple as a couple of brats that really truly only take a few moments to make, and a piece or two of string cheese can be such a satisfying lunch on a nice day. This is like perfect, absolute perfect camping weather right now. Supposed to be in the mid 60s to low 60s most of the day. And then later tonight it's supposed to get down into the mid 40s, which again, to me, that's absolute perfect camping weather. So I'm gonna have me a bit of a late lunch. Let lunch settle while the grill dies down. Earlier I said about going for a hike. It's not really a hike. There's no hills at this. Well, there's a couple of rises. I'm not even going to call them hills. I mean, we're talking about maybe 10 feet of elevation gain over distance. So nothing major, nothing to write home about. But there is some really beautiful scenery here that I'd like to share with you guys. Should have brought some relish with me. But anyway, I'm not going to bore you all with sitting here watching me eat. And I'll be back after a bit. Thanks for watching. Okay, everybody, let's go explore this campground a little bit. Kind of a bit of an odd one because, like, you guys probably can't see that post, but basically there's an imaginary line that goes right here, and this is 4 campsites going forward from where you're looking. But there's 1 picnic table and 1 fire ring, so it'd be great for, I don't know, family get-togethers, things like that. Again, come down here, got essentially 4 more campsites, 1 fire ring, 1 table. So not your traditional kind of thing. Sun's pretty bright, so hopefully you can see what I'm looking at better than I can. I'm gonna stop up here at the vault toilet real quick. Okay, now that we're done with that, this is another campsite. Again, 1 picnic table, 1 fire ring. This is the trash cans coming out of this section, and this is supposed to be, it looks like, again, 4 campsites. So it'd be great if, like, you know, 4 couples wanted to get together, or 4 individuals and they all wanted to pay for their own, you know, and then just have like a community get-together area. Here's a little turnout if somebody's just wanting to stop and hit the vault toilet real quick. And now this is more road walking than it is hiking, actually. But it is a really beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous area. And I don't know if you guys can hear the leaves ruffling or not. It is a pretty windy day, believe it or not. Sustained winds, I think 15 to 20 miles an hour. And down here in the forest, this forest isn't very tall, but it's so dense that here on the forest floor, it just, you don't feel it. You really don't. And then there's a couple of little trails that shoot off of this. A lot of people use them for horseback riding and stuff. But as you can see, this is a super beautiful area. It is. This almost looks like a game trail going off in through there. This is a hunting area. People do hunt here. Perfectly legal as long as it's in hunting season. Lots of down trees over in here. I don't know if you folks can see those or not. But since lunch is settled, I thought I'd bring you guys on a brief walk. I'm going to turn the camera off for just a moment while I get up here to this next trail. Okay, so here's a trail that my wife and I walked a bit, either yesterday or the day before, I don't remember. They've got it gated off for vehicles. They do bring equipment in here, obviously, to maintain these trails. And then if you notice here, there's this sign. Yes, spent shells are considered trash. And no motorized vehicles prohibited. But this trail goes further than I care to walk it today. But I'll take you guys along with me a little ways and chat your ears off. I like this campground for a number of reasons. Even though it doesn't have a bunch of amenities. Number one, because I actually enjoy primitive camping. Because of the challenge of it. I enjoy that there's no lights at night. None. If lights are on in this campground, it's because somebody has one turned on in their camp, or because a car is going down the road, or whatever vehicle. And when I say road, I mean that gravel road that I was walking down in the last clip. But they do a very nice job maintaining this. Super peaceful. You can hear the cicadas, bird here and there. At night you can, well, at least this time of year, you can hear the frogs and the crickets. But anyway, folks, I think I'm going to call it here and go ahead and head back. That's about all the walking I've got in me for the day. Done a lot of it over the weekend. But yeah, isn't this just amazing? And I know that an overnight camp trip probably really, well, it kind of does and does not have anything to do with prepping. But the whole being outdoors and being familiar with those sounds and stuff, I think that's important. And I also want to get back to camp so that I can straighten out that menagerie I showed you earlier, so that I can have something like decent sleeping quarters tonight. I did have, obviously, last night, the night before, and the night before that, but with taking half of the stuff out, throwing it in the car, taking it home, kind of got a bit of a menagerie going on my bed, and needed to reorganize what's where. So let me get back to camp and I'll see if I can get that sorted out. And then after I do that, I will explain what's what and why and all that good jazz. Anyway, folks, I'll bring you back in the next clip. Okay, so coming into the tent then, now that it's not a complete menagerie, over here I've got, I believe it's a full-size air mattress. I don't normally, in fact, solo camping, I pretty much never use an air mattress. Sleeping pads I'm fine with, but air mattresses, I have a dislike for them. This one is here because my wife was spending some time with me, and I try to make her comfortable. I brought my mummy bag with me. I turned it inside out because it hinges on the wrong side for the way I've got things configured, and I'm probably not going to zip it up anyway. That bag laying there, that plastic shopping bag, that's got batteries and stuff in it. That's my puffy jacket. It's an Eddie Bauer that my wife picked up for me. These are called scrubbies. This is just a couple separated in a Ziploc bag. Basically, they're pretty cool because they don't weigh hardly nothing, they don't take up hardly no space, and if you need to clean yourself up, all you have to do is get them wet, clean up whatever needs cleaned up on you, and you don't even need to rinse. Got a little roll of trash bags there, box for the air mattress. So this is my porta potty that I talked to you about earlier. I was going to send it home today, and this is septic safe toilet paper that is also safe for this. I bring it with on trips with my wife because, well, I want her to be comfortable. And I decided to keep it here because it is supposed to get chilly tonight, hence the heater. And I thought, well, maybe it's going to be chilly and I don't want to walk all the way down to the vault toilet if I have to go really bad. My Mr. Buddy, Big Buddy, I am going to be running that tonight on low. Behind that, if you can see, there's my camp hatchet. I actually haven't used it at all on this trip. I haven't needed to. There up against the back wall, I have some spent propane canisters. Here next to my two backpacks, I have two full ones left over. There's also an all but full one on the stove. These two backpacks have both made appearances on my channel before. This one I refer to as my get home bag, but it's really more of a haversack. It changes duties sometimes on a daily basis. Right now it's more of my med kit more than anything else. That backpack I've used extensively as a bug out bag just for the gray man factor, because it doesn't look tactical at all, but I guarantee you I will bet any amount of money that I can put enough stuff in there with the knowledge in my head and I can go just about anywhere and live for 3 days. Not right now. Right now it's housing clothes. That's obviously a cooler, just kind of sort of my kitchen area. Got some paper plates, some buns. Gonna probably do some hot dogs later tonight, paper towels, bottle of water, extra lamp. Oh, and then I've got this little up here, you know, all tents have that in them. But it's kind of cool. It sets up really quick. It was advertised as being able to set this tent up in 4 minutes. And if you had set this tent up before, I believe 4 minutes is totally doable. This tent this tent hasn't been set up in 3 years, maybe more. It's been a hot minute, and I decided to bring it out on this camping trip. Number one, because it hasn't been out in a while, and I'm trying to get all of my stuff organized to make sure that when I grab a bag that says it's this tent, that it has everything it needs with it. So besides just having the 4 stakes to stake out the corners, instead of that I want 8 stakes, so that I have 8 stakes to pull the guy lines out to if I need those. And this tent actually came equipped with guy lines, which I think is pretty cool. I think that's really cool, actually. Got a little vent down here at the bottom that I think I've only staked out once or twice. But for being in storage that long, I think it's fared pretty well. I would almost venture to bet that it leaks. I'm not too worried about leaking this weekend, though. And I say that because, well, it's a cheap tent. It's Members Mark, so right on par with Ozark Trail. It's nice because it's big enough to get up, move around. It does set up really fast. Really fast. I haven't set it up, like I said, in 3 years, and I set this tent up, I don't know, probably half an hour. And now, in my defense of a half an hour, the rain fly on this tent is a bit confusing. So I first got it on backwards, and then I got turned around right way around, and then I realized it was upside down. Then I flipped it upside down the wrong way, and then I flip it all the way around again. It was a bunch of walking around. Anyway, enough about that. That sunset's going to be gorgeous through the trees. Oh, and I was talking about making sure that every bag has everything it needs with it. Once I'm verifying that as I go, I'm putting little smiley faces on the labels. So if I go into my garage and a bag doesn't have a smiley face, that's the next tent to go on a trip with me, to find out what it does and does not have. And hopefully it has enough of what it needs to be able to pull the trip off. Man, that's gorgeous. You know, I guess the irony in this weekend is that if this weekend would have went to the original plan, that right now, instead of being reasonably close to home, I would be about a third of the way on my way back from visiting some really awesome friends that I have in Tennessee. It was going to be an amazing trip. I haven't seen these friends in over a decade. And these are the kind of friends that you can go a couple of years without talking to, and when you do talk again, things pick up like they never left off. It just, things never stopped, and spend an hour or so catching up. We had planned to road trip from here in central Iowa, 14 hours, just cannonball it straight through, stop for nothing but to eat and get gas. Maybe a half an hour power nap somewhere in the middle. Probably not. More like just get jacked up on coffee and go. Hang out with them for the day, spend the night. They were going to offer us a cabin for the evening, free of charge, because they have an empty cabin on their property. They have a private lake. It was going to be a great time. And, well, life happens sometimes, and that road trip didn't happen. So, as an alternative, we ended up coming here. In other news, um, it's dropped down into the low 60s, getting a little bit chilly, and I really want to spend some time around the campfire. So I'm going to get that going. Not going to bore y'all. There's a million and one videos of people starting campfires. I'm just going to get one going quick. Down and dirty. Steve Wallace style. I'm not going to flint and steel it. I'm not going to, nothing fancy. I'm just going to make fire happen. Because whatever way to make fire works, if it works, there's not really anything wrong with it. Don't get me wrong. It's super cool to practice that other stuff too. I just want to make the fire happen. I'll be back with you in a bit. And this is what a little bit of last year's charcoal and a little bit of lighter fluid can do for you in a matter of moments. True story. When you just don't feel like playing around. Or, for me, when I don't feel like playing around, sometimes I'm just trying to get it done. Alright. So yeah, I've just been sitting here and enjoying the sound of cars driving by on the gravel and kids playing in the next side over, and don't get me wrong, there aren't too many cars that go by. This is at the very end of the lane. It's a very small campground. Just been sitting out here mostly just, listening to the animals and sounds of nature, and it's cooling off a good bit. Supposed to get a good bit cooler than this. I think it's supposed to drop into the upper, maybe mid 30s tonight. At one point, the National Weather Service was talking about frost in the morning. That's fine. I've camped in way worse temperatures on both sides of the spectrum. But I think really I'm gonna sit here and enjoy my campfire for a little bit. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I'll get back with you if I have any inspiring thoughts here before I hop in the tent, or maybe before I go to bed. Anyway, as always, I love you all. I'm not going anywhere, but I do love you all. It actually always amazes me how much brighter it looks on camera than it is in reality. I'm actually sitting here waiting on one of my favorite ham radio channels to go live here in a few minutes. Should be a pretty interesting conversation. So I'm going to watch a bit of that, and then I'll bring you back after I'm in the tent for the evening. You guys are awesome. I really hope you've played along for this long. I'm just a boring old man. Okay, so I'm in the tent now. I'm getting ready to just about call it a night. Got my heater over here, my buddy heater, the big buddy heater. Getting the tent warmed up a little bit before I crawl in the sleeping bag. But while I was sitting up by the campfire, I had a thought, and I'm sure that at some point in this video, at least somebody has asked themselves, what in the world does this whole, he's going on a 4-night camping trip and brings us along for a solo overnighter at the end, what does all that have to do with prepping? Well, I don't view prepping as just being prepared for the end of the world. I view prepping as being prepared for situations. SHTF potentially being one of them, obviously. But I had to prepare for this camping trip. I had to figure out, okay, if I'm going to make this happen, how do I get X amount of gear to X place safely and efficiently? get said people to said location, get said people to someplace else, come back and still sterilize the campsite, leave no trace. It all applies in theory. It's all the same philosophy. People do not plan to fail. People fail to plan. And planning and prepping is kind of the same thing. So think about it in those terms. Anyway, I'm going to let the tent get warmed up a touch. Probably watch a movie or something on my phone while that's going on. I'm going to wait to crawl in my sleeping bag until I'm comfortable with losing a layer or two. Because after that, the heater will do its job, my sleeping bag will do its job. Hold on, there's a train going by. Okay, now the train's done being horny. As I was saying, just think about that. It's about prepared-mindedness and having plans in place, because if you don't have plans, you will fail. Again, people don't plan to fail. They fail to plan. I got that infinite wisdom many, many years ago, and it does truly apply. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm going to wait till the heater warms it up in here enough that I feel comfortable losing a layer, maybe two. After that, I'm going to let my buddy heater do its job. And my mummy bag is rated for I think 10 or 15 degrees Fahrenheit. So even without the heater, I'd be fine. But is what it is. Anyway, you folks are great, and I will see you all in the morning. Good night, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I didn't do the whole filming waking up thing. Had to make the 50-yard dash to the vault toilet. Yeah, just waking up. Had to think. Hold up, my water's boiling for my coffee. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going. Coffee's steeping a little bit. So my propane ran out about 4:30 or 5 this morning. I was like, whatever. I got my mummy bag. I ain't gonna freeze to death, not in this thing, not tonight. But I got up about 6 or so. I mean, even right now, I don't know exactly what time it is without looking. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The sun's not. The sky looks light, but the sun's not actually up yet. Temperature's just above freezing. So instead of filming, I prioritized, and I was like, you know what? First order of business: make fire happen. Make it happen right now. And that's what I did. Get coffee going. That's what I did. I did sleep pretty well. I really did, but other than that saggy frickin' air mattress, I hate air mattresses. But they make my missus comfortable, so. Yeah. First order of business was get fire going. Because like I said, it's just barely above freezing. It's like, in Fahrenheit, I think about 3 degrees above freezing, which is damn near 0 Celsius. So I'm going to warm myself here by the fire. Get my phalanges thawed out, if you will. Have some coffee, get my insides warmed up. Because even with this down jacket, I love my down puffy jacket, but even with this and my my hoodie on, I'm feeling a bit chilled this morning. My toes are chilled even though I have wool socks on. So See how the coffee's doing here. Give it a flavor check. I might end up letting it steep just a little bit more. Hot. Oh, that's tasty. Cheers. I'm gonna sip on my coffee a little bit and get warmed up. And my only plan is to not have a plan other than to make sure that everything makes it out into the car and that I'm out of here by, I don't know, maybe noon or so. I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna play it by ear. Anyway, I'll be back. All right. So update. It is just starting to warm up. I don't know if you guys can really see it on camera. I just barely can. The sun is just now starting to peek over the horizon. It has warmed up a tiny bit. I'm still enjoying the fire. I'm a little bit more awake. I'm on my second cup of coffee now. The thing I like about that Coleman stove that I showed you guys yesterday, and gals, let's not forget about y'all. The thing I like about it for car camping is if you're just trying to make a quick meal without building a fire, it's handy for that. And also for making coffee in the morning, it will make hot water right now. I mean, I guess it's akin to a way oversized jet boil. I would never in a million years even think about considering backpacking with that thing. But for car camping, it's super handy. Heating up water quick in the morning if you just want a quick lunch but don't want to build a fire to make lunch. If you want to, assuming you want a hot lunch. Yeah, my hair's a complete wreck. That's okay, I don't care. I'm not here to win any beauty pageants by any means. I'm actually waiting on my wife to call me. She's obviously at home. We talked about that yesterday. It's her day off. She don't set alarms on her day off. I don't blame her. And she knows I don't set alarms when I'm camping. I get up when I get up when I'm camping. Oh, can you see that? Maybe. Oh, that tree's in the way. Yeah, the sun has. Oh, that's bright. The sun has officially risen. I don't even know what time it is right now, but it's sunrise time apparently. Anyway, I'm gonna wait on my wife to call you while I enjoy this fire and cup of Joe o numero dos. Oh, whew. So it is warming up a little bit. It's just after 9 in the morning. I'm gonna have probably one more cup of coffee that I'm waiting to heat up right now. I don't have it on max boil mode over there, but I still got. Well, I did have until a critter crawled in there. I'm gonna have about one more cup of coffee, I think. Start packing up. I still have the fire going. I have a few sticks of wood left to put on it. I just want to start packing before I run out of fire, because it is still quite a bit chilly. Not like it was when I woke up, but still fairly chilly. Um, but it'd be nice to, have a spot to warm my fingers up while I'm, in between tasks. I think my first thing is going to be to round up a majority of my trash. Of course, once I'm done packing up, I will go around the campsite and make sure that, hopefully my goal is always to leave a campsite cleaner than where I got here, but they keep these campsites pretty clean anyway. But once I'm done all packing up, I'll give it another good once over. Still wiping sleep out of my eyes. As you can see, the sun's finally shining on me. albeit through a bunch of trees. This is a pretty dense forest. I don't have really a lot to pack up. More time consuming than anything else. Um, I'll not bore you with all the packing and whatnot, you know, folding up the air mattress and whatnot, but I'll bring y'all in here and there along the way. Um, get everything loaded up. Uh, I'm not in a big hurry. Um, like I said, it's just a little bit after 9. Checkout's not till 1. Um, I do have to be out of here at something like a reasonable time because I do have a doctor's appointment um, later this afternoon. Um, and I'm not super far from home, so it's not a big deal. I would like to take a shower before I go see my doctor because there's no shower facilities out here at all. I did show you the Scrubbies things, um, but I use those more for just like, you know, hitting the sweet spots, so to speak. Um, but I've been out here for 4 nights. Um, I came out on Thursday afternoon, and it is now Monday morning. Um, so yeah, a shower would be good. Uh, anyway, I'm gonna get my coffee going. It looks like the water's just about ready. Uh, I'll bring y'all back in a little bit. All right. Well, here's how far I've made it. I've got all my bedding in the car. I've got all my what I call kitchen stuff, meaning my cooler, leftover food, things like that. All that's in the car. Um, I've got the big bulky items, including like my clothes bag and all that good stuff. Um, I was smart and I put my dirty clothes in a separate bag, and they're going to live in the trunk on the way home because I don't want the smell of dirty camp clothes inside my car. But the big bulky items, my heater, my porta potty, all that's out of the tent. Got a few little odds and ends to pick up out of there. And then I'm going to start breaking it down. The big bulky items I haven't put in the car yet. I found through many years of experience that it's just better if you're putting items into a small space to put the largest items in first and figure out what fits where. It's just a big game of Tetris, really. But we're making progress. So yeah, life is good right now. I do hate uncamping though. That's the only part I hate about camping. Um, it was really nice to be able to spend 4 nights out here though. I don't get to do that very often. Anyway, I'm gonna enjoy the fire for a few minutes because it is warming up, but it's still chilly enough to warrant a down jacket and a hoodie. So I'm gonna sip on my coffee a little bit more, take a break for a bit, and then get back after it. Well, I guess as you can see, that breaks down relatively quickly. I obviously sped it up. I can't move that fast. Real time, just over 4 minutes to have it completely broke down. And honestly, I believe it takes longer to make it fit back in the bag that it comes out of than it takes to break it down. And it sets up almost as quickly. Um, so it's a pretty efficient design. Um, like I said earlier in the video, I think it's been probably three plus years ago since that tent's been out of its bag at all. Um, but for what it is, it's not bad. I like the design of the efficiency of it and whatnot. Um, oh, and it was a little over 4 minutes, but I did have that 110 steak fight with me a little bit. I like it when I can get them all back. Once in a while, I can't. But Anywho's, I'm going to take a break after that. Then I'm going to make it fit back in its bag. So I decided against making breakfast this morning. I knew I had a lot to pack up and just didn't feel like fiddling with it. So as a mid-morning snack, I'm having some wild strawberry Crystal Light. Not the no sugar thing, because that artificial sweetener is absolutely terrible for my pancreas. So I'm having some Crystal Light and a Kind Chewy bar as a mid-morning snack. I've got the tent in the car. Everything else except for probably the porta potty is going to go in pretty quick. I want to put the porta potty in last because I want it to be the first thing to come out of my trunk. I don't want it sloshing around in my trunk for 2 days. After I get that out, I can deal with the rest of it tomorrow. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy my snack and sit here by what's left of the fire and get further motivated. All right, we are all packed up in the car. It's just after 11 o'clock. Yes, I took my time because my only plan was to not have a plan other than loading the car up. And it was pretty chilly this morning and I wanted to sit around the fire and enjoy my coffee. So there's a convenience store like literally right around the corner from the campground. I'm gonna stop in there and grab some orange juice or something, I think. Just because that's, I don't know, something healthy to drink. And on the way out of the park, I'll try and record out the dash and see how that works out. Just to show you guys, how beautiful it is here. Anyway, back in the next clip. It's actually still only 44 degrees outside. Right down here by the vault toilet, Mrs. Prepping Life saw 4 or 5 deer that she got pictures of the other morning. She text messaged them to me. I will try and see if I can potentially include some of those photos in at the end of the video if I remember, and if I can figure out how to put messages, I don't know, I'll figure it out, I hope, how to put those still photos in at the very end of the video. This is actually the road that we walked yesterday afternoon. And then where this red gate coming up is, that's where I made the left to walk partway down that trail. And there's some parking here for people who just want to walk that trail, which I think is pretty cool that they made provisions for parking there for people. This road is wide enough to go 2 vehicles down, so 1 person can go each way, but only just. Only just. I think if 2 RVs were, because they do allow RVs to park here, but there's no hookups. I think that it would be pretty tight to get 2 RVs past each other. Man, this is gorgeous. Leaves are just starting to turn colors. Just starting to, some of them are just starting to come off the trees. And I'm going to take a little side detour here through these campsites because I wanted to show you all something cool. I think it's cool. This is the area where normally the equestrians, you know, the people with horses and whatnot, will camp. And they'll come out and spend their whole weekend horseback riding and grilling out. And there's also a boat launch here, which is pretty cool. It's not a huge boat launch, and the river's pretty shallow, so I wouldn't put anything with a very deep draft on it in the river, but every time I come out here, it makes me wish I had a canoe. And this is just a loop we just drove around. Very small loop, but I've seen up to 5 horse trailers out here at the same time. And then we're gonna make a left instead of a right. It's a little bit of a detour. I want to show you all some more of this campground because there are more campsites than what I was able to show you earlier. If we go to the right, there's one over, well, it's actually I think 3 or maybe 4 sites back in here. But this is pretty secluded. There's just one picnic table and one fire pit that you'll see here in a second as I come around the corner. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. Yeah, it's actually 4 sites. And then where you're looking in front of us right here, that's actually access to a small pond, which is pretty cool. And then I think next time I come out to this particular campground, I'm going to show you where I would like to camp next time, because it is also another really cool location. This area is actually 3 campsites, again sharing one picnic table and one fire ring, but this place is, I've never seen this place crowded. Doesn't mean it didn't get that way, I've just never seen it. There on the right, I don't know if you were able to see, that's another access to that same pond. Right in front of us, literally right in front of us, is where I would like to camp next time we're out here. And where that gray van is, there's another vault toilet just right in front of that van, so it'd be nice to have that be convenient and close. And on the way out, I will make a point to show you the sign that has the name of the campground that I can never pronounce properly. It's a First Nations word, or Native American Indian word. I don't know what the proper thing is. Anyway, it's a big, really old word that I can't pronounce. It starts with a W. And this is all right behind the Linn County Fairgrounds in Linn County, Iowa. So we are officially out of the campground now. Going past the, I don't know how you want to look at it, whether it's the back side or the front side of the Linn County Fairgrounds. This is the side that has all the entrances on it. They do a haunted house out here this time of year. We heard them on Saturday night. It wasn't really loud or obnoxious, and it didn't run super late, so it wasn't like disturbing or anything. But I figured if I showed you the sign, I wouldn't have to figure out how to spell it and all that good stuff. When I filled out my registration form, I actually had to look it up on the internet. But even going past the fairgrounds, it's still a really pretty drive. Cicada or something, I don't know. And I did find out that this is open all year round, so I can come out here in winter camp too, which I think is awesome. Okay, so let me pull you all off the dash for just a second. Hopefully y'all can see that. It's Wakapisik. I don't know, I'm not even going to attempt to butcher it. But anyway, that's where we're at. Alright, well, now that I'm on my way out, I'm going to go ahead and shut this video down. I love you all. Thanks for playing along. I really hope this video doesn't end up being like an epic 2-hour full-length video, because I don't like chopping a bunch of stuff out unless I do something incredibly stupid. Anyway, until next time, everybody, as always, be safe, have fun, and peace out. See y'all in the next one.